Yo, what up, what up?
What up, everybody? I'm Simone Arabia.
I'm Fever.
And we are Spotless Minds. And welcome to another episode of Beats,
Sneaks,
and Rhymes. How y'all doing? Y'all good?
Hope everybody's out there feeling okay.
Feeling okay. Hope you're healthy and happy.
Washing your hands.
Washing your hands. Sanitizing. Staying away from germy people. All right. So we're going to get right into it. In our first segment of Beats, Sneaks, and Rhymes, we got the Beats segment. Mm-hmm. And in this segment, we're going to talk about New Jersey native
Ransom
from New Jerusalem.
That's word.
Yes.
He's from Jersey City.
Jersey City.
New Jerusalem.
This is important. Okay.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
People are very particular about where they're from, as am I.
During the pandemic and Ransom having a series of EPs out, partnered up with Nicholas Craven, a producer.
Yes.
And I feel as though, like, if you're into hip hop, you know Ransom. He's been around since the late 90s, early 2000s. I'm going to say the early 2000s, really. I don't know, still is, friends with Joe Budden.
Well, they did have a little falling out.
I don't know before. But I don't know what that is all about. But
they've definitely made peace since then.
Just giving a little history that this guy is not new to some. He may be new. I know the series with Nicholas Craven has caught a lot of
the attention of a lot of people.
Yeah, and So I just want to touch bases, a little on the 5 EPs that came out in 2020.
Yes, they were all themed around movies.
Yeah, no doubt.
The songs on each EP named after a movie.
Yes.
I don't think it was like any particular specific concept, but he seems to be a movie buff. And so what do we have? Director's cut 1, 2, and 3.
Yes.
Deleted scenes and crime scenes.
Yes.
All right, so let's get into it. How you feel about it?
I feel like it was a very dope series. I feel like it was a time where artists, really started putting in work. Last year,
to include us.
Some say that, hey, we ain't got nothing else to do.
Yes.
But to be in the studio and doing what we do.
Yes.
And I think that was definitely their sentiment with that. They definitely, sometimes I pick a favorite. I think it might be deleted scenes.
Okay.
But they all include about 5 or 6 songs. The most, and they're all dope, pretty much.
Pretty much.
It's pretty much you can just like play them in a line. You know what I mean? And
it's not a lot of skips, or if any. For me.
And it's tell you the truth. I've been listening to them, and I probably can't. I don't know where to separate. So if I hear a Shay Noor or I hear a RJ Payne feature on it, I'm not going to be able to tell you
which EP
is on. You know what I'm saying? But there are features on pretty much all of them. Even if it's only 1 or 2.
It's definitely a barred up series.
You got a
Ransom,
38 Special.
Yes.
Like I said, Shay Noor, RJ Payne. If I'm not mistaken, he has Ito.
Shots. Got a couple heavy hitters on there. So, Ransom is definitely going to give you bars.
Bars.
He's a very talented, very crafty MC.
And very witty.
He's very witty.
Very witty.
He definitely says stuff that makes you chuckle. You know what I mean? And chuckle because some of it is funny and some of it is like, yo, this dude is
witty. Yeah.
So it's definitely a good time anytime I play any of these EPs. I don't know if I have a favorite EP, but I do have some certain songs that are my favorite. So like on Director's Cut 3, I think it is, JD's Revenge is a big one.
Okay.
Crime Scenes, I think The Right. That's the one that I like a lot. 25th Hour. I love that one.
Yeah,
A Most Violent Year is definitely a banger for me.
Yeah, Crime Scenes is definitely one of the favorite ones from me. I think Crime Scenes, Deleted Scenes.
Deleted Scenes.
I'm sorry. Deleted Scenes. And I probably would say that my favorite track on Deleted Scenes is
Final Destination. That's your joint, yeah.
I like Final Destination.
That's a good one. What I really like about it is the choice of movies that he chose to name the songs after.
I know, because they're not all They're
not all typical, these are movies that a rapper would watch, if that's a thing, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Rappers are people and people watch many things, right? And Ransom is just really smart. You know what I'm saying? You can tell he's very well-rounded. He has a lot of knowledge. But I was like really... I don't want to say surprised as in like shocked, but like surprised, like, okay, that's what's up. Like that kind of thing when I saw some of the names, like matter of fact, on that one, he has a song called Midsommar. And that movie is bonkers, okay? I watched that movie probably at the top of 2020, right before the pandemic happened. And it's just a very strange, weird kind of movie. I liked it. So for him to have, you know what I'm saying, this song and it's named after that, and then he's just, you know, doing lyrical gymnastics on it. Yeah. I was very happy for that.
I feel like Ransom also, I mean, of course, it's been time and he's grown and evolved. His demeanor in songs now with more of a grown approach.
Yes.
Not that it wasn't, you know, grown lyrics or bars or whatever before, but I just think his demeanor has changed from what it was in the early 2000s. You know what I'm saying? Definitely gaining more attention.
Yes.
And much respect to him is well deserved.
Yeah.
Especially after these 5 projects.
Yes.
And then, you know, he does have more after that. He just dropped an album, Heavy as the Crown.
Yep.
The album is pretty dope too. But I do like the series of the EPs better than the album. Not to take away from the album, but
yeah, this album's dope.
The album is dope.
But it's just the whole concept of giving us the 5 EPs and then it all being centrally themed around movies. You know, and you can just see like the pandemic, you know, for some people it kind of became like a stalemate for some people, and some artists, a lot of artists, we got a lot of good music last year. Yeah,
and not only that, just the fact that, you know, people go to work and think they pumping out stuff just because they are doing it, it doesn't always necessarily be dope. And just my opinion, like, he went in there pumping stuff out, and them Jones is dope. I think Nicholas should be maybe his main
yeah, they have a good thing going.
Producer, and then have others, you know, tap in. Just my suggestion.
Well, there you have it. Shouts out to Ransom and Nicholas Craven.
Word.
Yeah, y'all should check that out. Check out that series.
Check out that series.
It's on all streaming platforms.
Yeah.
We'll be back
after these messages. Yo, welcome back.
Welcome back. Next segment on Beat Sneaks and Rhymes is the
sneaker section.
Sneak up on you. Kicks.
Okay.
What are those?
What are those?
Tennis shoes.
Oh.
Depends on where you're from, where we're from. These are sneakers or kicks.
Yep.
So what we have here, from my side of the table, these are the Dreamer J. Cole Puma collaboration.
Okay.
Out here doing big things. These are the RS Dreamer Mid Juniors because I have little feet. And these are in what I would like to call Wu-Tang Killer Bee yellow.
Okay.
I'm sure that's not what J. Cole said that they are, but yeah, so they definitely collabed. And I chose these because these are, I've never had a sneaker this bright before, like as far as like it being a universal color. They're very comfortable. I've become very fond of the new Puma series, the RS series. They tend to be more comfortable for me, and they're definitely a showstopper every time I put them on. What are those? But in a good way. I like it. The top of the toe box here, it's got a little kind of like a suede thing going on here. And the rest of the black that you see on here is more, it's just like leather, rubber, whatever. What is this, like a nubuck or something?
That's suede.
It's suede, okay. You're the sneaker connoisseur, I'm just saying. But it's a lot of, it's a couple of details in here that I like. They seem to be very mindful. They got the little the yellow suede here, just a couple of accents of suede. Most of it is, it has some canvas, the toe box is canvas, and there's some leather. And I think it's a really well crafted shoe. And like I said, they're really comfortable on the inside. Like I could walk in these for a little bit. That's a good test for me, because me and my feet, we're having some marital problems as I get older.
What's missing from them?
What do you mean what's missing?
Is something missing? Because you said this is a what?
The Puma sign.
Oh, the Puma sign. Where's the Puma sign at?
Right here.
Oh, okay.
It's little baby right there. And then it says Dreamer on the back.
Okay.
But yeah, if you don't know this shoe, you wouldn't know that it's a Puma shoe. And so there's that.
Oh, that's it, huh?
That's it. That's all I got. I'm quick with mine. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Okay.
So we have the historian over here.
Okay. All right. I have a picture. No, I'm just kidding.
This guy.
We have the Bordeaux 7s here. This is the original. Well, not the original, because they came out in 1992. Yeah, so this is the 7th Michael Jordan. It came out.
Okay.
You might have seen these in Michael Jackson's video Jam.
Okay.
Because this is what he has on in Jam.
Yes.
I think that's Remember the Time, but you want to do that dance?
No, listen.
Excuse me. Hey, tell me.
Listen, there was a couple of dance moves like that in the Jam video. I'm just saying. I'm not saying it was Michael Jackson. I'm not saying it was Michael Jordan. I'm just saying there was somebody who did something with the shoulders. But go ahead. So
this was the start of the hair Jordan campaign.
Got you.
You could see, and also just the style. This color was different. It had flip. Even after Mike had went through what he went with the wearing black sneakers, wearing different color sneakers, and getting fined and all of that. Those sneakers was still pretty much your fundamental colors.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? When the 7 came out, they came out with this gray. I think they call it
graphite. Maybe it's graphite. Okay. There we go.
There you go. Yeah, but that's when they came out with this. Recently, just I think about 2 weeks ago, they dropped the Jordan 6, and it has this Bordeaux colorway.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was a bar.
But this is the original.
Okay.
The 7. And they're comfortable.
Okay.
7s are comfortable.
Yes, they are.
I'm keeping it real. Not all Jordans. Most of them are pretty comfortable.
But there are some that are not.
But there are some that are not. There are some that are heavy. Like the 12s. So I won't get into it, but 12s is kind of heavy, like boots. And these are like top 3 of my favorite Jordan. Just the colorway and just the style back then. Just how it changed. Like they really changed the game as they kept going on. You know what I mean? They may not be attractive to everybody, but yeah.
Okay.
Top 3 of mine.
Top 3.
Top 3 of mine.
Top 3 for Fever.
Yeah, and that's Jordan.
Not sneaker. From the Jordan collection. I got you.
Jordans. Yeah, top 3 Jordan.
Let's make that abundantly clear.
Yeah.
Okay.
But so yeah. Boom.
Together, out here.
Sponsor us. We out here pushing your product.
Really, sir? Ma'am? We'll be back. All right, y'all, and we are back.
We are back again.
Back again, my friends. All right, so in this next segment, it's a new segment that we like to call Unpopular Opinion. All right, so this week's Unpopular Opinion, we have titled, You Weren't There.
And it's okay.
And it's okay.
We're going to have a lot of titles where it ends with, It's okay. We just want to let you know that it's okay.
It is okay.
You know.
It's okay. Trust us. It's okay.
Unpopular opinion, like, you know, this hip hop and facts and
yes,
opinions, it's okay.
It's quite all right.
You know what I'm saying?
And so what do we mean by you weren't there, but it's okay?
If there is an era in hip hop, if there is a time and place and you're trying to critique it or rate it or judge it, and you actually weren't in that time and space,
right,
or you were not there listening to that music, you weren't into hip hop thoroughly, or sometimes it's just the
time.
It's just the time. A lot of especially hip hop is a timely music.
It is.
If there's any, like, I can make a love song now.
Yes.
And it's going to be a love song. Forever. You know what I'm saying? No matter what. You know what I mean? But if I make a hip hop song, I reference pop culture that may not be
it may not
popular.
Exist. It may not even exist 20 years
10 years
later.
from now. Yeah. So you have to, in order for you to understand that, you would have to have been there to understand the pop culture that's in the rhyme, and for you to not just think that it's BS.
Right.
That's
Why is this an unpopular opinion, though?
I used to work at a club. It was called Club Fluid.
Where was this?
In Philadelphia. Very popular club. Some people know that Questlove was known to spin there. We had a party that was called Tasty Treats. I had a discussion with someone, and a person tried to, let's say, debate, not argue, but debate that if you read about this time and era, then it's almost the same as being there.
Okay.
And don't think that is true. I just believe that you have to be in a time and place. Like, I cannot tell you, I'm too young to critique a disco scene.
Yes.
You know, I cannot tell you, even if I listened to and I got into it heavily, disco music.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I can tell you who played what and who was the band for this artist on this song and all of that. You know what I mean? I still cannot tell you the feeling that people had during this disco time. Right. So that conversation for me, I would have to back out of that conversation. Right. You know, I would have to sit that one out. Even though I know what they're talking, I might know what the songs they're talking about and everything. But if these people are 10, 15 years older than me, and they know what was going on in that era and that feeling, because music is off a feeling also. Yeah. That sometimes you have to be there. And that, don't get me wrong, there's timeless music. There's music that has a feeling to it that if you listen to it when it came out, it gave you a feeling that then 25 years from now, children can listen to it and be like, I feel why my parents feel this song. Right. And that usually happens on, we can say there are songs like that on a scale of majority rules. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's just like, mostly everybody says this about this song. So why would you even go against the grain and say, no, this song, this doesn't make you feel, or it's not this.
Or even if it doesn't make you feel, that's okay, but that doesn't mean that because you don't feel this way or a few other people don't feel that way about the song, that doesn't make your thoughts about the song more valid than the majority of the people. Majority, yes. First of all, especially if you weren't there. If you weren't there to experience the song in that particular time. Even those people who were there during those times and was like, yeah, I couldn't get into that song. Yeah. Right? I can totally understand because they were there, right? And they saw what it was doing to the generation that they were in. But it just wasn't for them. That's one thing, right? But, you know, to come at it from such a, sometimes people when they aren't there, but they are historians of it, right? Okay. Like I study hip hop, you know what I mean? Yeah. I studied the culture. You know, I was born 20 years later than the culture, but I know everything about the culture, right? And in those conversations, when we're talking about the factual history of it, that's great. Yeah, you can be involved. But when you're in a conversation with people who are there, who are like, no, I'm telling you, this is what it was because this happened, and this is what was going on, and this is how it affected the people, and this and that and the third. You don't really have much to contribute. Not to say that your book knowledge of it isn't valid, but sometimes your book knowledge, and you may think that you have this type of perspective of it, and it's like, there are literally people who were there telling you, nah, that's not what it was.
It's almost like being at a job and you studying books about this job or this career that you're in, but you have no experience. You know what I'm saying? So you can know everything, studied everything to the T, and know about it, but until you come in there and that person that's experienced it was like, yeah, I read those books too 20 years ago, but also you don't even need chapter 5 through 7 because
right.
You know what I'm saying? This is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But you know, I think people tend to you know, I think it's a pet peeve of mine that people. This is an example of going and listening to an album from, you know, 20 years ago, and then saying, "Nah, it wasn't all of that." You know what I'm saying? That I don't know. You know, that joint wasn't, I don't know why people say that's a classic, or I don't even know why people, you know what I'm saying?
And it's not just the music. Right. So, of course, the body of work itself is the major reason why people are calling it a classic. But what people don't also realize is that it's the time, the space, the atmosphere, the environment in which this particular body of work came out. All of that influences your senses. It influences how you listen to the music. It influences how you... whatever they're saying, whatever Nas was saying on Illmatic, or whatever Jay-Z was saying on Reasonable Doubt, or whatever Slick Rick was saying, you know what I'm saying, on his first album, right? Everything that you were going through, and everything that was going on around you, and what was going around Slick Rick at the time, that informed his judgment on how he delivered the line, how he wrote the word, all of those things. It's just like when people tell you when you eat food, you eat with your eyes, you eat with all of your senses. It's not just about what you taste. It's the smell, it's how it looks, it's everything. Everything informs your decision on how you experience food. It's the same thing with music. And sometimes people, they want to dismiss the fact that they weren't there at the time, and they think, well, I'm a hip hop head and I can listen to anything 20, 30, 40 years later, and I just don't, you know what I'm saying, it wasn't all that. It's not really a classic. And if everybody else who was there is telling you, nah, my dude, it's a classic, it's a classic. Like, your opinion, I'm not saying it doesn't mean anything, but it's not enough to have a debate where it's like, oh, nah, we got somebody who's a historian who wasn't there.
It's really not valid. You know what I'm saying? So if
I was trying to be nice.
It's not valid. If an album was playing, let's just keep it real. It's 1987. Slick Rick is out. Besides the songs that you're getting on MTV, the hood is playing Slick Rick. Cars are riding by, 98 Oldsmobiles, long Cadillacs. They're riding by and they're pumping PE, they're pumping BDP, and they're pumping Slick Rick. So you can't come, you know, 12 years from now and be like, yo, the only two songs that Slick Rick was good was Mona Lisa and Children's Story.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, nah, that whole album is a classic. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a feeling. Your opinion is not valid if you weren't there. You know what I mean? And I don't care if you were alive, because you also have to take in consideration,
where were you?
And
geographically,
where hip hop was, because a lot of people like to say it wasn't getting played on the radio, so they don't know about it. And then you have some places, some states where hip hop wasn't even getting played on the radio yet. The mecca of it is only getting playing hip hop on the weekends
at night.
Why would I think that somewhere else
is they don't even get the music on the radio at all? they don't have it on the TV at all.
So your opinion cannot be valid for something that was going on in that time if you have no knowledge of it or what was going on,
and you weren't experiencing it the way the people who were experiencing it. You weren't experiencing it at the same time.
Nope.
Right?
No.
For some people, y'all didn't get hip hop on the radio. Y'all didn't get videos for another 8 years.
Yeah, until the 90s.
Right? And so then if you look at how fast hip hop was changing at that time, you missed a lot of eras. A lot. Because the eras were changing way more faster than they change now.
You missed, exactly.
You missed it.
You missed it.
And it's okay. And it's okay.
It's okay that you weren't there.
And the reason why we're saying it's okay is because when people who were there tell you, hey, look, man, you weren't there. This is what it was. It's okay that you weren't there, but the truth of the matter is that you weren't there, so you didn't experience it like we experienced it, or whoever is talking to you experienced it.
Yeah.
I'm too old to understand who we was just talking about Juice WRLD. I wasn't in that realm, right? So I can't have no conversation with no 19-year-old about no Juice WRLD.
No, or the culture.
Or the culture.
Or that culture of
that
what.
Culture.
Now, you can have your opinion on the music. You can be like, yeah, I listened to, I've tried. I listened to his albums. But, I really don't. But you cannot be like, yo,
you can't dismiss it.
What he's contributed whatever is this, that, or that. Because, you know why?
I wasn't there.
I wasn't there.
I mean, I was alive, but I wasn't in that realm.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
And it's okay that I don't know that.
It's okay.
Straight up.
It's okay, people.
It's okay that you don't know it.
It's okay that some of y'all was still listening to soul music when some other regions were listening to hip hop. It's okay that some regions were still wearing like slacks and shirts and other regions were wearing streetwear.
Yup.
It's okay.
And it's just pretty much okay that you were only getting mainstream at the time and you weren't getting the up and coming or the quote unquote underground artists or underground records to be able to critique them and then try and critique them
30 years later.
30 years later.
We're talking 30 years later.
You know what I'm saying?
Some of it is 40 years later.
Yeah, and look, when we say 30 years later, we're talking about the 90s.
The 90s, yeah.
We're not even talking about the 80s. We're not even talking about that whole decade of not the mainstream.
No.
You know what I'm saying? The decade of the records that we had to go buy, the records that we heard their song on the radio on Friday night, and then we had to investigate on who it was, or we had to listen to the DJ and hope that he names the songs that he just played.
Yeah.
Hey, we just played such and such, such and such. Then after that, remember that?
Absolutely.
You know what I'm
now
saying?
you wait because you want to know who it is.
We just played
Hopefully you can go to the record store tomorrow and find it.
That was just LL Rock the Bells. And then we came with Run DMC's Beats to the Rhymes. And then we had, they used to have to lay it down for you what they played.
Because nobody was familiar with their voices. You wasn't familiar. It was still new. It was still new.
Yeah.
And some of y'all wasn't there.
And it's okay.
And it's okay.
It's okay you wasn't there. It's okay you wasn't there for the evolution of hip hop. So when you try to compare a Das Effects because of their iggity biggity bummity style when they came with a new style, and not only that, when they came, it hit hard. That wasn't something that came and people looked at like. That was some bubble gum. You know what I'm saying? Their whole thing of coming straight from the sewer, the whole rugged, the whole dreadlock thing. Like Das Effects brought something to the table in the evolution. I mean, hip hop is always evolving, but
it was evolving way faster.
They came at a time, and they are a group that is responsible for bringing in that rugged. That was the time that EPMD switched to rugged, because EPMD was, I ain't gonna say pretty, but they were, type flashy. You know what I'm saying? And
Das Effects was
Das Effects, Naughty by Nature, Redman. It began to change, and people stop dressing up for shows. Like, this is me.
Right.
Outside of this rap, I'm wearing a sweatsuit.
Right.
I'm wearing a hoodie.
Right.
And a Scully.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm wearing Timberlands.
Right.
Yeah, and DOS Effects helped bring that in. People thought it was, you know, not everyone, but just the dreadlocks alone. You know what I'm saying? Timberlands in the summertime. Fatigue, yeah, hoodies and fatigues and you know. So when you try to compare somebody that has contributed a time of evolving hip hop to somebody that hasn't contributed, you can't do it.
You can't.
But you don't know that because you wasn't there.
And so
You know what I'm saying?
you're consuming it 30 years later.
Yeah.
And you're consuming it 30 years later from a perspective of what you've already been spoon-fed, right? Right? So the way you consume your music, how accessible it is now, you know, the fact that you don't have to put on the album and let it play because rewinding it might take too long. Like you can skip, and all of these things that modern technology has afforded so many people. Just even the way we consume music, it now versus the way we did back then, it influenced the culture. You know, it influenced how you listen, how you responded to it. And so when you're listening to somebody 30 years later and you're like, oh yeah, this is groundbreaking. And we're like, yeah, but DOS Effects kind of did that first, right? And they're like, well, DOS Effects wasn't really da-da-da-da-da. And it's like, well, you weren't there.
You weren't, yeah. And not only that, DOS Effects.
And we're just using DOS Effects as an example.
And, you know, because I've seen it more than 3 times where people compare, I guess they say the bum stickity with DOS Effects. Let's not take out the fact that also hip hop used to be different. And I'm not saying that no one ever tried to copy or no one ever bid a style, and when they bid that style, they were able to maneuver and stay on. But if you look at, for the most part, the originals are always the ones that stay around. You know what I mean? You had people that might sound like Rakim, but they don't stay around. You know what I'm saying? And then you had people that, another thing was, it was so different that you couldn't. Like, some people are so unique that you couldn't. You know, Slick Rick and Dana Dane sounded alike. They were from the same crew. But in the end, Slick Rick, you know what I'm saying? I mean, because he's really from the British background, so he really has that accent. So, you know what I'm saying? You can't, you know who the original was. Right. You know what I mean? And back to DOS Effects being different. The whole bum stiggity style was their style. This was something that they did that to separate themselves from not being, and it wasn't.
And there was no way that somebody was gonna come out and do the bum stiggity, and now you got 2 groups and you don't know who's who. It's not going down.
And yes, especially after making the impact that you made already, and then others trying to come in. And granted, you know, some people did try. I mean, the bum stiggity style did evolve into maybe not saying or reciting it like how they were, but the iggity pucky biggity sickity biggity did come. You know what I'm saying? Along with, you know what I'm saying? But yeah. So before you try to compare stuff from,
and not even just about comparing, but when you try to dismiss, that's the point.
Yeah, and that's
right, because you can compare. You can
I mean,
critique,
that's how it compares, and then they try to dismiss.
And then you try to dismiss
because of the comparison. It's just like,
and no, you wasn't there.
You weren't.
So you don't really understand why people are saying no.
Yeah,
this was the shit.
Yeah,
right.
Yep.
Because you weren't there.
Because you weren't there,
and you critiquing it post haste later. You know what I'm saying? It just.
Yeah. And let me tell you, straight up, you can't, if it's from a certain era and it was going on where hip hop was started and where it was going on at, don't tell me that it wasn't hitting because it wasn't hitting in 1985 or for whatever time that y'all got radio stations and started playing hip hop because
you already behind.
You already behind.
And it has nothing to do with anything other than that's not what was going on in your region at the time. Period.
It's okay.
And it's okay.
It's okay. It's okay because I don't feel when people are talking about football, right? I can indulge if you're talking about the NFL to a certain point also because there are certain people that are into the NFL more than I am. You know what I'm saying? And then to add on to that, they know what's going on in college. So when they come to me and they be like, yo, did you see Hakeem Owens playing at Michigan State? You see how that boy run? I'm going to be like, bruh, I never was the one to be into college football like that. So I couldn't tell you. And I can back out the conversation. And I'm okay with that. I'm not going front.
Or I can be in the conversation, but now I'm in the conversation.
To learn.
As a learner, as a student.
To learn.
I'm asking questions as opposed to dismissing the history and the information that you're giving me.
Yeah, true indeed.
Right? That's the other thing, right? The people who were there trying to school some people, and they like, nah.
Yeah. Every time when you get in school, it's not always about a debate. Sometimes people.
The teacher is there for a reason.
Some people just be trying to learn you.
But the teacher is there for a reason because the teacher has more information than the student.
Word.
Right? And so you, the student, don't have the information and you are there to learn.
Word.
Period. And it's okay.
And it's okay.
Unpopular opinion. Let us know what you think.
Word up. It's okay that you wasn't there. For the most part, I was there.
We'll be back.
Hey there.
What up, y'all? We're back. Hope y'all went and got yourself something to drink, a little snack.
Something to smoke.
Came on back here. Something to smoke. All that. You know what I'm saying?
Joke.
So this is our final segment. This is the rhyme segment. This is where we pick bars and talk about them because we feel like we should talk about them.
We're not talking about bars that you drink at. We're actually talking about bars
that you listen to.
That you listen to. Yeah.
True indeed. So this week, who we got?
We
who we dissected?
Simone Arabia and her bars from. No, I'm just kidding.
One day.
Won't be a day. But we're talking about Jay Electronica and his bars from IDK's album. I don't know the name of the album. What's the name of the album? I don't know.
The name of the song is Red.
I do know the name of this song is Red.
You See For Yourself. Is that the album? No, that is not the album. We are terrible at this.
No. But anyhow.
IDK is a dope artist.
And he's coming.
Yeah, it is. That is the name of the album. You See For Yourself. I need to trust myself.
Yes. IDK hailing out of Maryland. PG County. I know a lot of people are arguing. I mean, just to touch on the album before we get to the lyrics. A lot of people are talking about Drake and talking about Kanye West. And I believe if we're talking about in the realm of both of those artists, of their sound, I believe IDK has a better album than the both of them. But that's just my opinion.
I'm definitely a fan of this album. I haven't listened to Kanye's album.
Yes.
And I would agree, though, that it is better than Drake's album.
And it's on
that type of vibe.
Yeah, it's on that. It's a hip hop singing vibe.
Check it out. But we're talking about Jay Electronica's verse on the song Red.
Red, which also features there's a small line from MF Doom and West Side Gun.
Yes, do.
Yeah, so it's featuring West Side Gun, MF Doom, and Jay Electronica. And Jay Electronica's bars start off with, every Intrugal Bay needs a highly made Sultan to establish a tribe and build masjid roofs on. My life, my sacrifice, my prayers, and my death is all the one God who spareth me the breath. You can try and lie to say yourself, You can try and lie to yourself about the times, the war between God and Shaitan and alter minds in the age of social media. Twitter, YouTube, Google, and Wikipedia. Pearls get tossed to swine. You stick with Dr. Fauci, I'm running with Dr. Wesley. I never let the CDC come and finesse me. I never let the fake news from the press distress me, even though the devil will love to Malcolm X me. It's him again. With the tint skin tone, breach, and brimstone, until the man of sin got everything that was meant for him. Just know one thing, Allah sent me here to be king.
So why'd you choose this verse, sir?
Days and times that we're living in, and just how he touches on, you know, that, him, and being in that. You know, comparing Dr. Fauci and Dr. Wesley, and you know what I'm saying? He starts off with every integral bay needs a highly made sultan. Now that is Turkish.
Okay.
I don't have an extensive knowledge, but I do know that he is talking about the Turkish regime, and Halime Sultan is a fictional queen.
Okay.
On a show.
Got it.
That is, yeah. If you want to look more into that, then you can. But to establish a tribe and build masjid roofs on. I don't know if you all know what masjids are. Masjids is the place of prayer for a Muslim. To establish a tribe and build masjid roofs.
Yeah.
You know, to establish a family and be able to pray together.
Right.
My life, my sacrifice, my prayer, and my death is all through one God who spareth me the breath. You can try and lie to yourself about the times, the war between God and Shaitan for altered minds. In the age of social media, Twitter, YouTube, Google, and Wikipedia, pearls get tossed to swine. Jewels, meaning getting tossed to, in short terms, pig. The swine, the devil.
Those who are not.
We throwing his knowledge at those
who are here to do us harm.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The actual line in the age of social media, Twitter, YouTube, Google, and Wikipedia is actually an MF Doom line.
Okay.
That he retorts and puts it within his rhyme. You stick with Dr. Fauci, I'm running with Dr. Wesley. I mean, pretty much if you're watching the news or just listening to anything going on right now,
Dr. Fauci's
you know who Dr. Fauci is.
Yes.
I mean, this guy has never been more famous than he has been in the last 24 months.
I never let the CDC come and finesse me.
I never let the CDC come and finesse
So
me.
he is already letting you know how he feels about the pandemic, whatever the CDC, that they're governing how we're supposed to respond to any health crisis, but particularly COVID-19. He's telling us right there, he's not running with that.
Yeah, I'll never let the fake news from the press distress me, even though the devil would love to Malcolm X me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. He's letting us know that for many people, right? The fake news, whatever your fake news is, whether it's Fox, whether it's CNN, especially for everybody who's been home during the pandemic, the news has stressed us out.
And pump fear.
Pumped fear.
In people.
In everybody. Wherever your fear lies, on whatever side of the coin is fearful for you, we have been inundated with the news, and it's all been, a lot of it has been, it's running on our fear. And so he's basically telling us.
And he says, even though the devil would love to Malcolm X me. So he's dismissing the BS that you're trying to, that you're feeding me and trying to put fear in me. But at the same time, I know that you're in my hindsight. Like I know that you're over here being the devil.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not like I'm totally dismissing this and dumb to the fact that you're out here trying to get me. It's him again. The tint skin tone, breach, and brimstone.
Stop right there.
I mean, the tint skin tone and breach and brimstone.
Meaning he's, fire and brimstone, he's breaching brimstone. I'm getting out of...
I'm getting past
the BS, the devil, the lies, the fake news, everything that's coming to destroy me. I'm breaching that because I'm ill like that.
I'm making it past the devil. I'm making it past your
whatever you're sending, whatever weapons you're sending.
That fire and brimstone is the
supposed to
scary
stop,
thing.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That whole burning, you know what I'm saying?
And he literally said, I'm breaching it.
Yeah. Until the man of sin get everything that was meant for him. Meaning the man of sin.
Which is man, period.
And the devil. We're still talking about who we're coming after here. Just know one thing, that Allah sent me here to be king.
He's on a mission.
Yeah, I think it's a very, it's
so good.
I think the whole, and then.
It's so good.
Sometimes we pick these lyrics. Of course, the lyrics are dope. But also, because I see more than sometimes than just, some people can write lyrics. And it can be fantastic, but they don't flow right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or the vice versa. Like something can flow right, and then you read it, and it's just like, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? With this song in particular, and this rhyme, it's a very well put together song.
The song is very,
and it's different.
Yeah.
It's different for I think all the artists that are on there.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's a different kind of sound. And for Jay Electronica, he goes last. And for him to end it, it's just...
And he ends it so strongly.
Yeah.
And with such a dope message. And the imagery and just all the literary devices he's using, like the alliteration, everything. It's a very poetic, like the structure of it is very poetic. And it has like a rhythm and a rhyme to it, like a meter to it. Outside of the fact that he's rhyming over a beat, right? So technically he is rhyming, right? But if you were just to remove the sound, the music, and say it, there's an internal rhythm to it, and that's part of what makes it so dope. Jay Electronica is just he's barred up all the time.
Exactly.
But yeah, man.
But that's what I chose. That's what I.
And it's a good choice. It's a good choice. It's every time that song comes on, I first of all have to run it back several times. But then more specifically, when I get to the end of the Jay Electronica's verse, I'm like, wait a minute. You know what I mean? What did he say?
Yeah. It's dope.
Dope rewind factor.
And check out that album.
Check the album out.
Check out IDK.
It's a phenomenal album.
It's a dope album.
It's so good. Yep. All right, guys, and that's what you got. Beat Sneaks and Rhymes. Happy Wednesday to y'all.
Again, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for joining us.
Catch us every other Wednesday.
Every other Wednesday, right here, same time, same bat channel. Up in your area.
Same bad place.
Bad place. Boom.
You know what I mean?
Let us know how you feel about it.
Word.
If you have any suggestions, any topics, any bars, any albums y'all want us to critique,
leave them down in the comments.
Any unpopular opinions y'all may have.
Point down in the comments.
Put it in the comments, bro. Sis. All that.
Yeah. Fam Lamb.
I'm Simone Arabia.
I'm Fever.
Peace.